Listen to this. 5 things that should be mandatory in relationships. 5 things. Number 1, before entering a relationship, you should know how to communicate. If everything is argumentative, if I can't tell you about yourself, you can't tell me about myself, then I mean you're not made to be all ready to be in a relationship. Communication is key to keeping any relationship together. So if you cannot communicate or you have poor communication skills, you should get help with that before you even entertain a relationship. Hands down. Number 2, if you have children in a relationship, you never argue in front of your children. Never let them see you have a disagreement, especially when it's pertaining towards them. If your kid did something and you didn't like, and the mother checks him or the father checks him, stand with the parent, and then when y'all on your own, y'all talk about it. Why? Because the kid will use that to draw a wedge bigger between the two of you. Number 3, the worst thing in a relationship is ego. Anytime you see ego in a relationship, it automatically is going to fail. Because I'm going to tell you something. You can have pride, I understand, but sometimes you have to put your pride aside and make the right decision. Sometimes being wrong is actually being right. And sometimes being right is actually being wrong. Watch what I say when I mean that. When you're able to go to your woman or your man and say, you know what? You know for a fact that person was wrong, but you value the relationship so much so you don't want to fight. So what you do is you put your ego aside and you just apologize even when you're right. Why? Because it's just better about moving on. Because some people that have ego will never be healthy in a relationship. It's the worst thing. Number 4, if you're not willing to put your resources all in a pot, then you're not made for a relationship. If you go into a situation looking at it like what they can do for me rather than what we can do together, then you already failed in a relationship. It is better to think as a unit than it is to think as an individual. If you think like an individual, then you should stay by yourself. Number 5, we gotta acknowledge this and say this statement. There is no I in team. When a person don't understand that there is no I in team, and what your mate may be better at, you may not be good at, but if they're better at it, then you're both good at it. Because at the end of the day, it's about a unit. So if I'm horrible at saving and my woman is good at saving, guess what? We're gonna use her skill, because at the end of the day, I will be better as long as I can acknowledge that my mate is better at it, and I allow them to do it. Because if she's good at it, then I'm great at it. And if the man is better at protecting or building or investing, then so be it. At the end of the day, whatever works for your relationship. These are 5 tips that allow you to understand, are you good for a relationship? If not, stay out of a relationship because it won't work. Don't let that go over your head.